What does it mean to be your authentic self? This is something that I mention in my videos all the time, and is something that we're all striving, or we should be striving to get to. If you're not your authentic self, it means that you don't have self-awareness, and most of my videos are for you to develop this and to have a full understanding of who you are. And once you find that out and you know yourself fully, your self-worth and value, then everything else kind of just flows naturally and is designed and aligned for who you really are. That's why it's important to have authenticity. Now, the word seems to kind of have the stigma of new age hippiness and spirituality and anything that most people may believe that is a bit of faff. But essentially, being your authentic self or authenticity is your gut feeling, and it's something that we're given from birth by nature for self-preservation, protection, and safety. So this is what we're going to look at, and what it means to be your authentic self and how to really get there. If you haven't been to my page, welcome. I'm Hamasa. I look at personal development, mental and emotional well-being, and day-to-day issues. Please do subscribe to my page so that you're up to date with my content. And if you have any suggestions for me, please do write it in the comments below. I always do read them, so I will take into account any topics that you would like me to cover. This video is really to kind of tie in all my other videos where I talk about, be your authentic self, have your self-worth and value, anything else that comes to personal development and becoming who you truly are and living your life to your full potential is to do with basically first establishing oneself. Once you've established yourself, you can then start setting boundaries, you can then start working on things. And your relationships, your job, your confidence, all of those things come from you being in your authentic environment. And again, the word does have connotations of kind of hippie stuff, but that's not the case. Like I said, it is essentially your gut feeling. Now, this is what happens, and most of our psychological imbalances come from childhood. Obviously, like a lot of things in early childhood that may not necessarily be something, the way our subconscious mind or how we read it as a child can have effects later on in life, and then they come up when things trigger us. But really, the root or the deep down is some sort of trauma or an incident or a misunderstanding with your primary caregiver, so in childhood. Now, when it comes to authenticity, in order for us to be emotionally wholesome and understand all range of emotions is when we are validated by our parents, or when we start developing these emotions and feelings, they are validated by our primary caregivers and understood, and we're allowed to feel all those emotions. When we are emotionally fulfilled, we understand everything about ourselves and how we feel in situations, how to deal with things. We understand the range of frustration, anger, upset, happiness, overwhelm and excitement and all of these things. So when we develop these feelings and they're not really validated or they're pushed aside for a number of reasons, things like there is already conflict in the home and you as a kid don't want to add fuel to fire, so you'd rather internalize your feelings or not really feel them or detach yourself from those feelings. Or in instances where, for example, let's say a parent of yours comes from an abusive home or somewhere that there's been a lot of yelling and shouting and screaming, and therefore as a kid, when you're angry and you start yelling and shouting, you are then told to detach yourself from these feelings in order to receive love. So two things that we need as children is obviously, or we have, or we're born with, is the two needs. Is one of them is the need to be taken care of, hence why it's so important for us to have close relationship with our parents, or when it's neglect and it's abuse. So we need to be taken care of as babies and as kids and as toddlers. So that's an innate thing that we need. There's nothing, it's not questionable. We need nurturing. And the second thing that we have, or we're gifted, or we need to be able to decipher, understand, is our gut feeling when we sense danger. Because if you look at an animal in the wild, they will do, if they don't have a sense of gut feeling to sense danger, like if you're a wildebeest grazing and there's a lioness waiting to hunt you down, and you don't have the gut feeling to look around and see the danger, you're dead. You're someone's meal. So that's, again, something that it's a need and we have it. We all are born with it. So when you're obviously throwing a fit as a kid and throwing a scene, and your parent punishes you by saying, like, they don't tend to your emotions, they don't tend to your feelings, they're not there for you, they don't validate what you're feeling, they tell you to move away, they tell you to, go and stand over there, you're punished, it's corner time and you time out and all of that, then you either have to make a choice of calming down and not feeling those emotions because you need the primary caregiver to give you affection and love right there and then, or you stay authentic to what you truly believe and feel, and then deal with the timeout and deal with the lack of emotional support and someone to make you feel better again. So there's this conflict of, if I want to be true to myself, I cannot show emotion, because if I show emotion, then there's consequences, and the need to love and care for me will be taken away from me. So you make a choice, and as a child, it's easier to not feel things or suppress them. So you choose the need to be taken care of, which in adulthood makes you a people pleaser. So you need that to be liked. You need to keep people happy and shut yourself off and not truly feel and think the things that are authentic and true to you. You need to adapt to the situation and mood in the room, which is what you've been trained to do as a kid. And therefore, you start doing things that pleases people and makes people happy. So obviously, if you're constantly doing everything that people ask you to, of course you're going to be liked. You leave no room for someone to complain about you, because you want to keep them happy, you want to please them, you will do anything and say anything to keep that person happy or people around you. And there's going to be a ton of people that will like you. But where the problem in this lies is that because you don't know yourself, they don't know you, nobody truly loves you or knows you. And in due time, if you run around being a people pleaser and not be authentic to yourself, it can have really severe consequences, like getting into terrible relationships, getting scammed, getting into terrible friendships, losing money, losing jobs, being disliked, and being sick. You will get depression, you will get anxiety, you will possibly get cancer. You're storing and internalizing and understanding that you're not really happy, you're just doing things to keep other people happy, therefore your needs are pushed down. You're not allowing yourself to feel certain things, you're suppressing and running away from emotions and problems, and nobody really loves you because they don't know you. So you are this people pleaser that's just liked and can be replaced because nobody knows who you really are. There's nothing special or unique or authentic about you. You adapt and you fulfill their needs, and the minute they don't need you, then they won't value you. So all in all, if you're not in your authentic self, it could have severe consequences in due time in terms of your confidence and everything else that I mentioned. That's why it's so important for us to be really true and authentic to ourselves. And having said that, even though many of us have dealt with things like this in our childhood, where a parent told us off and told us not to feel things, it's quite normal, to be honest, especially with the lack of understanding of like psychology and mental health back in the day. So the difference here is that as adults, we have a choice. We're grown enough and we're mature enough to understand and make a decision, make a choice, choose ourselves, stay true to ourselves, and understand that even if I lose certain attachments in life, certain relationships, certain people won't like or see, understand, accept, respect me for my authentic self, I'm okay. That's fine with me, because I'd rather be true to myself and be authentic and be in my element, be my 100% me, be my full potential, and attract the people who truly love me, see me and value me for who I am in here. Not someone or things that I could do for these people or make them feel good or make, run around them or do things for them to really like me and then not really respect me. So understand that as an adult, I have a choice. I'm making a choice and I choose me and my authentic self. If you don't like my tone, or you feel that I'm a little bit aggressive, I'm a little bit sharp, I'm not like you, I'm not sugarcoating things to keep you comfortable, I'm not reducing myself for you to feel good, that's okay. You don't need to be around me because you don't value the whole of me. You only value the side that suits you, and therefore you're not a true friend either. So it's a win-win. So that's why it's okay, and to understand that choosing yourself, there's nothing wrong, because the people that you lose are not meant to be there in the first place. So the sooner you get to your authentic self, trust your gut feeling. Authentic self means who you are inside. Respect her or him. Appreciate them. Be there for them and support them and be obsessed with them like you would be with other people. And once you start loving yourself, everyone else has no choice but to love you. And if they don't have a room in your life. Simple as that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have, please do subscribe to my page, like and comment on this, and please do share it with someone who may need it. Being your authentic self is the greatest gift that you could give yourself. So remember that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys here again very soon. Mwah.